look, people invest with people, right?
Sure.
And it's great that you're giving them resources, but they really want to know, first of all, if they've invested with you, how's my investment doing?
Mm-hmm.
And if they are thinking of investing with you, and as a sponsor, you want them to think that way, right? Especially if you believe it's going to pull out, you do want to be nurturing them even during this period of crisis. So how often do you communicate, do you think, and I know it's on a person by person basis, so maybe, how often are you seeing your clients express their own personal views of what's going on and keeping people updated with, the rapidly changing environment?
Yeah, again, I hate this answer, but it's one we often use when it comes to communications is it depends, right? And you alluded to that before, but I do think the best case to look at is really the publicly traded REITs and some of the other C Corps out there, not exclusive to real estate in terms of, the information they're putting out in the marketplace in the form of a press release, a letter to shareholders about how we're viewing the current situation, how it's impacting our business. Adam, when we spoke before, you had asked about, should you use video and what mediums and types of communication should we use to communicate? That's also really important when you're considering how to get out in front of your audience. So I think in the more sophisticated investor landscape, I think there's an expectation among your limited partners or your other defined investor that you will be providing them with some information as to how this is impacting or how this has the potential to impact my investment. So I think there's an expectation there. And if the normal course of communicating with your LPs is through a letter, you might want to consider doing that. The scope of the information, again, and how far and deep you want to go is contingent upon the company and what they normally provide and what they're comfortable saying. Video can be a very powerful method in terms of communicating. Look no further than Arne Sorensen and the email he sent out to his Marriott counterparts in the world last week about the significant troubles that Marriott is facing dealing with COVID-19. In my personal opinion, that video does a fantastic job of humanizing the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, showing empathy and giving the market a really good understanding of how this situation is impacting the business in the near and the potential long term. So that came across well. The issue with videos are if you're not a sophisticated speaker and you don't have the time or the resources to produce something that's top quality, it could be one of the more riskier forms for communicating with your constituents, right? And when I am with clients and I'm going through media training or presentation training, so let's go back to video again. Marriott is a good case of how video can be used effectively. But there's many other cases out there where how video can go the wrong way. My point was, when you're on video, the stakes are much higher because it's not only the words that you're saying that people are listening to, but your body language also plays a significant role in how people interpret information, how people view the credibility of the information coming out of your mouth. In fact, we argue, and there's research out there that shows body language impacts the vast majority of what people take away from a video or a form of communication. So that needs to be factored into the equation when you're thinking about, do I use video to go out and get in front of my audience, or do I use another form of communication, whether that's an email, whether it's a letter, whether it's a conference call? All these types of nuances and factors need to make their way into the decision-making process.